Erev Yontif Rabbi Sai. So amazing to Baruch Hashem be back in our shuls for so far a week plus. Just a quick Erev Yontif message. We're here holding by Erev Shavuos, the time that we were Makabel the Torah, the thing that keeps us alive. And it's kedai every now and then to remember that this is actually the lifeblood of Klal Yisrael. The only reason and the only thing that's keeping us going, that's keeping the planet going, is the fact that we're learning Torah. And we have to go ahead and take stock every now and then. Are we doing our part? Not even are we doing our part, are we partaking of it as much as we could? There's so much opportunity to go ahead and partake of the Torah, especially nowadays when it's literally being given out for free. This video is free, by the way. So you're able to go ahead and take Torah. The question is, are you doing what you could be doing in Torah? You see, every single year on Shavuos, we have a din. Just like there's a din on Rosh Hashanah, there's a din on Shavuos, as so says somebody, that there's a din on Shavuos that we're able to go ahead and get a new din. How much Torah are you going to learn this year? So Shavuos is also a time that we have to go ahead and contemplate. Are we doing our part? Are we doing the amount of Torah? Now let me explain what Torah is all about. You see, Torah is just not another science. And I'll bring it up by a very interesting question. Tonight is going to be Shavuos. And we're remembering the time that Hashem met us at Har Sinai. He gave us the Teseres HaDibros. Moshe Rabbeinu goes up to the mountain, and then he comes down with the luchos. And what happens with those luchos? Our very first encounter with Hashem's Torah, they got broken. And these luchos, albeit they're kept in the Aron, but that's like having a broken engagement. Imagine you have a couple, and they get engaged, massive party, it's awesome, and then what happens is that after a month, the engagement's broken. Okay, it's all embarrassing. You give back the ring, and then people they're sitting it over and they're like thinking about like, all right, you know what? Let's get engaged again. They re-get engaged, and then they finally have their wedding. When you remember the anniversary, are you going to remember the first engagement, or is that sort of like swept under the rug? Next year, when's the anniversary? Anniversary like the first engagement? You remember like the main time, the wedding or whatever. I'm saying over here, those luchos that represented what happened on tonight's Kabbalah Satira are going to be broken. So why are we remembering those luchos? And the question also is that we're keeping those luchos in the Aron. Do those luchos mean anything? Another question is, it's very interesting. It says in the Gemara that be careful with a Talmud Chacham who loses his learning. Be very careful with him. I mean, it's nice to be nice to elderly men or people who have forgetfulness, but like, what does this mean? So I want to ask a different question. The question is as follows. It says that Hashem went around to all the nations and he says, do you want this Torah of mine? And they said, no, thank you. For Torah, we have no time. The question is, so why are we called the chosen nation? You know that kid who's like really geeky and he has like got like he's like the last person you choose on when you're choosing baseball teams. Like, all right, we'll take him. Like, okay, go to him. Deep right field. Like, that's your job. So, or like you take like super extra backstop, you know, you get the balls if they get all, that's your job. So that geeky kid, that's who we were. We were the last person, the last nation. Hashem's like, listen, I went to the Greeks, the Romans, I went to everybody, and the only people who are left are the Jews. Let's go to the Jews. That's called the chosen nation? Like, we're like, yeah, we'll do it. That's the chosen nation? The answer is, also, how's it possible to be called the chosen nation? Well, the answer is, because when Hashem went ahead, and you know what? Let me ask you one more quick question. Hashem goes ahead and these people, Esav, and they ask Hashem, what's in your Torah? And what does Hashem respond? Hashem responds, he says, well, don't kill, don't steal. Question, all these things, we're subject to those laws anyways. I mean, that's like going to a university and saying, I'd like to apply. Okay, there are certain rules for this university. Okay, what are the rules? Well, you got to stop by a red light. Okay, I think I could do that. I mean, these things they had to do anyways. So why is Hashem telling them things that they had to do anyways? The answer to all of these questions is one yesod, and that is that Torah is not just another science. And Torah is not just another book of laws. If you stop by a red light, nothing changed in you inherently. You just stopped by the red light. And then when the light turns green, you will go. You didn't become a different person by following the Torah, by studying the Torah, by studying those rules, by studying the rules of stopping by a red light. Torah is different. Torah changes who you are. The essence of the person is different after he learns Torah. And therefore, when Hashem went ahead to the nations of the world, he went and he said to them, you know, I know that you already keep these mitzvahs, but I'm telling you that you can keep these mitzvahs in a manner that is Torah, that will not only be like following the laws, but it will actually change you. Do you want to be a person who is no longer a thieving person, instead of just following the laws, but an actually different person? And that's what he offered them. He offered them Torah. Now, Reb Schwab says that Hashem was not offering them the 613 mitzvahs. He was offering them the very same mitzvahs that they had in the format of Torah. Because we were the chosen nation. We were the chosen nation. Hashem never had a plan to give the whole Sefer Torah the way we have it to the other nations. He was saying, do you want to take a share in the Torah that Klal Yisrael is going to get? He went around and asked them, do you also want a piece of Torah, of this magical thing that will change who you are? And to that they responded, no, we don't want it. We don't want to change. And only Klal Yisrael says, yes, we want to accept your book of laws in a manner of Torah. Now we can understand that when Hashem first went ahead and gave us those luchos, that was an unending marriage. We were married. And when a person goes ahead and learns Torah his whole life, and even if he forgets the knowledge of it, he's a changed person. He's a person who Torah is part of. So just because he forgot the knowledge, that's nothing. The knowledge, I mean, it's important, but that's the way it goes into the head. But when it goes into the head, it changes who you are. So the Gemara has to say, be careful with the Talmid Chacham who forgot his learning, because he's still a gadol b'Torah. He's a changed person, albeit the knowledge isn't there. You can have a person who makes a mistake or forgets all his learning. When a person is asleep, he doesn't have the learning on him, but so he's not going to be able to answer the questions appropriately. But he's still a changed person. He's still a Talmid Chacham. That's what Torah is all about. And the question is, how much are we plugged into Torah? How much are we connected to Torah? We have a murdig opportunity now. When? Right now. Because every day that we're alive, we are able to connect to Torah. There is so much opportunity to learn. And there's absolutely no excuses anymore that, hey, it's too hard, it's in Hebrew, or go ahead and buy an English book and don't just flip through it, get it clear. You like Hilchos Shabbos? Buy a Hilchos Shabbos book in English. You like Machshava? There's hundreds of Machshava books in English. You like to learn Hebrew? There's hundreds and hundreds of opportunities for you to learn, whether with a chavrusa or even by yourself, to go ahead. And then once you start with Hilchos, let's say you start with Hilchos Shabbos. So you're going to learn, we're going to learn Bishul, or you're going to learn Kosher, or anything. So you buy a book, and you read up on Kosher, half an hour a day, whatever you're learning, get it super clear. Because that's the way that it goes into your head. And once it goes into your head, it's going to change your whole body. You connect to Hashem every time you struggle over those things. And then you go online and you can ask a question. You can call up your Rav. You can call, what's the pshat in this halacha? When do we apply this? When do we not apply that? All these things can be done by you. It's totally open. The decision is yours. So let Shavuos, the upcoming Yontif, be a time that you decide, I'm going to take my Torah learning under my responsibility. I'm going to be serious about it. There's not a day that's going to go by that I'm not going to learn half an hour a day. And how do you learn it? By getting things clear. By learning it and understanding it, it goes into your head. And by going into your head, it's going to change your whole body. It really will. It will change everything about you. That's all, but it's your choice. It's your decision. You've got to be the one to do it. And therefore, I wish you an amazing Yontif, a time to go ahead and reflect on, are we doing our job? Are we doing our duties in connecting to Hashem through His Torah? Have an amazing, geschmack, beautiful Yontif.